Dallas Mavericks are looking like a top 3 team in the Western Conference. And honestly, I could see them as a 3rd seed in the Western Conference. Now let's get into why I think they will be the 3rd seed in the Western Conference this year. What I want to talk about is the Josh Richardson Seth Curry deal. I talked about this in another video, but basically I'm going to go over it a little more. But yeah, first of all, this does lead them to having a lot better defense, and I think it sacrifices a little bit on the offensive end. Seth Curry, I mean, he's an amazing three-point shooter, and Josh Richardson, he isn't a bad three-point shooter per se, but he isn't at Seth Curry's level. But yeah, on the defensive end, this team needed some help, just because, I mean, they were like 21st in defensive efficiency, and I mean, their offense was historical, but the defense was the reason that they didn't move past the first round. And their defense needs to improve if they want to make it past the first round of the playoffs. Now, they did face the Clippers, which was the 2nd seed, and they did make it. Pending a collapse to the Nuggets, they would have made it to the Western Conference Finals. So, I mean, they did lose to a top 4 team in the NBA in the playoffs, but they definitely need to improve that defense for next year. Now let's get into what they did in the draft. The 18th pick, they took Josh Green, and let's get into a little bit of analysis of that pick. I like this pick a lot for them. Josh Green, he's a 3-and-D player who is a really great defender, or at least projected to be a really great defender, and not the greatest three-point shooter, but I mean, he does need just a little more work on his three-point shot. He shot 6% in college, but I mean, the three-point shot is a little bit harder, just because it's a couple feet back, and it is also with NBA defenders. So, I mean, the shot's gonna need a little bit of work, but I do think he could be a pretty good 3-and-D player. My concern here is that they didn't go with a guard. At that point, I believe they should have gotten with R.J. Hampton at that spot. R.J. Hampton was still available, or I think they also could have gone with Maxey here too at this spot. Yeah, I mean, maybe they could have used the guard, but they did get a very good defensive player who has the potential with his three-point shot to be really good. And I think this was a good pick for them. Also acquired Tyrel Terry as part of the Josh Richardson trade, and I love this pick for them. I think Tyrel Terry is a very good fit with them, just because we all know he's a really good shooter, all that stuff, but his off-screen shooting numbers and his shooting numbers are really good. This data is according to SB Nation, and just want to credit them before I bring up the data, and I don't want to take credit for the data, but yeah, he shot over or 50% on catch and shoot and 57% off screen off a screen, and yeah, it's really good. Those are really good numbers, and I think, although at first he's gonna have to build up his body, but I do think he's gonna be able to make an impact in the NBA game by just getting off screens and getting catch and shoot opportunities, and I think he can do that right as he steps to foot in the league, and I think this is a really good pick for the Mavs. Additionally, add the fact that he doesn't really have to do any ball handling duties. I mean, you got Luka Doncic, you got Trey Burke, and Hardaway, he can handle the ball sometimes. So, I mean, you're not going to really have to have Terry handle the ball that much. And I think that's one part of his game that's going to have to wait, just because, I think he has to build up that body just to get it to an NBA level athlete. But I do think he can make a difference at the NBA level immediately with his shooting. They also did add James Johnson, and he's going to be a pretty good backup four for them. And yeah, he's going to be pretty good. He's been a pretty good backup four for them. And He's a good locker room guy as well, and I think this was a key addition. Re-signed Trey Burke, and I like that because they do need a backup guard for that second unit, and I think adding him was huge. That's really all I can talk about. I mean, this Mavs team is going to be really good. They did also re-sign Willie Cauley-Stein, and he's going to be huge for them because Porzingis is not going to be able to start the year for them. And although I guess your main concern with them getting a top 3 seed and your main concern with this team overall is the health of Porzingis this year, and I think that might be one of the things that hinders them getting a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. But I definitely do see them being one of the teams that go very deep this year. Possibly they can make the Western Conference Finals. And yeah, I think this Mavs team is going to be really good this year. And that's really all I got in this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.